Hello and welcome to SusyBLiving's What I Am Sowing in March. So I will give you all the varieties of what I'm sowing in March according to whether they're a leaf, whether they're a fruit, whether they're a root, or whether they're a flower. What I'll do is I will cover the days I am sowing them in my weekly Gardening by the Moon series for you. Oh, okay, let's start with the leaves that I'm going to be sowing this month. The first thing I'm going to be sowing is my spinach. I've already got one batch of spinach, which is fantastic. And I'm just looking down here at my notes in front of me. So if I'm looking down, please excuse me because I'm looking at my notes. So the first spinach I'm going to sow is a spinach called Mikado. It's a very kind of unique spinach. It's an oriental spinach, and it has this really kind of upright habit. It has very, very thick stalks with really large green pointed leaves. They're really delicious, chopped up. You can put them in stir fries, you can steam them, you can put them in salads as well. It has a really good resistance to downy mildew, and it is a wonderful crop because it doesn't really bolt. It's much slower to bolt than other true spinach. So that's my first spinach. The second spinach that I'm going to be sowing is Santa Cruz. Now, I've already got some of that on the go, but again, it is a slow bolt spinach, and you get really nice kind of spring, summer harvests. I'm hoping to harvest these in late April and May, so it's going to be more spring. So that's the spinach that I'm doing. The next leaf that I'm going to be sowing are my lettuce. So let's go through my kind of normal lettuce first. The first lettuce that I am going to sow, and I'm not going to sow many of these lettuce. These are to go outside. This is my first sowing to grow outside. They'll be underfleeced to start off with. Then I'll take the fleece off if I need to. So the first lettuce is one of my favorites. I talk about it all the time. It is called Navara. Again, I will put a picture up for you. It's great for nearly the whole year. The only time that it's not great for is like late autumn and midwinter, because it does get a little bit of mildew. But this time of year, it is absolutely perfect. It is fantastic as a cut and come again lettuce. So taking away the leaves from the outside, it will always come again. And it is also, it's resistant to root aphid, which is fantastic because that can be a problem kind of in late summer. That is my first one. The next one that I'm doing is the Riccia. So it's Latuga Riccia. It's a lollo lettuce. This is the green variety of lollo rosso. And I find that this is one of the best kind of crinkly leaved lettuces. I've grown it from spring all the way to autumn, and it also does really well in winter. I've got some in the greenhouse. It's got this really lovely kind of fresh taste, and it's very crispy. So it's fantastic. And also another bonus is the slugs don't really like it. So that's a bonus in my opinion. The next one I'm doing is the Maravilla de Verano Canasta. So this lettuce is fantastic. It's one of my favorite summer lettuces that I grow. It's an Italian variety. It has these kind of crispy green leaves, and they've just got a little red tinge on them as well. It's really good for bolt resisting as well. So I love this. I love it as a winter harvest, and I love it as a spring, summer harvest as well. So they're my kind of normal lettuces, let's say. Now I want to talk about Salanova lettuce. So Salanova lettuce it's a commercial lettuce, and you can buy it from a company called justseed.com here in the UK. It's usually only available in Europe, so we're really lucky that we can get it here with Just Seed. So the first one that I'm putting is one called Extranet. It's like a multi-leaf. It's very crispy. It has kind of crinkly leaves, a bit like the Riccia, but it has a fantastic yield because it's really, really, really tight. So it's also slow bolting. So that's the first one. The next one that I'm growing is a butterhead, and it's called Hawking. I do like a butterhead lettuce. They're really, really delicious. So Hawking is a green multi-leaf butterhead lettuce. It's got a really kind of short core. Most butterheads have got long cores in lettuce, and the leaves are really, really robust. So the slugs don't really like them that much. You get very high yields again, like you do with all Salanovas, and you can take the leaves off separately if you want to. You can also sometimes you get double heads on them. Fantastic, fantastic lettuce. I've just ordered some more seeds of that one. The next one is called Seurat, and Seurat is a really, really dark purpley burgundy lettuce. It's fabulous. It is a butterhead lettuce again. It has really good color contrast, and it's got quite thick leaves again. It's got a fantastic shelf life, this one. So you can pick it, you can put it in the fridge, and it'll stay there for ages. And it has really strong resistance to tip burn, I've found, and bolting. Great lettuce. Another one that's got like incised leaves, I call it, kind of crinkly leaves, is one called Haflex. That one is crispy again, another crispy lettuce, and it's very compact. It's kind of an upright growing lettuce as well. It also has a great shelf life, and all of these lettuce the reason why I'm doing them is they're all really good for non-bolting. And the last one is one of my favorites again. This is called Barlach, and this lettuce is kind of ready butter multi-leaf variety as well. It can be used as a cut and come. You can take the leaves off the sides, or you can actually cut the whole head off if you want to. Chefs love this lettuce. It is really, really popular in restaurants. That's it. That's my lettuce. Okay, so that's all the lettuce gone. The next thing that I am going to do, leaves-wise, is I am going to do a batch of spring onions, and these spring onions are called Guardsman. They are, I'm sorry about the noise, the window in front of me, there's hail on the window. I was going to do this in the greenhouse. I'm glad I didn't do this in the greenhouse. So yeah, so this spring onion is called Guardsman. It is a bunching onion, or scallion if you want to call it a scallion as well. It is an excellent salad onion. This is not an onion that grows into a bulb, which I have been actually sowing. This is my first batch of non-bulbing onions. It stands beautifully and tall in the garden. I find that it is much better than White Lisbon myself, because I find that White Lisbon tends to be a little bit floppy. So that's a fantastic spring onion. And it's termed a leaf because we mainly eat the leaf part of the onion. That'll confuse you. Okay, spring onion. Next, if you want to do another batch of Kalettes, then this is a great time to do Kalettes as well. So we harvest the leaves on the Kalettes first from like July, and then the flower sprouts come from about November, I would say. But of course, the flower sprouts are best in winter and early spring. But I like to have Kalettes kind of all the time. I've already got one batch on the go, and this is my kind of second batch. Of all the brassicas, I probably think that this is one of our top ranked brassica. It is really prolific, and it's there when you just need it in the winter time. It is brilliant. Its leaves are brilliant to eat in the summer and the autumn. So, but you've got to really sow them in March and plant them out in May so that you get a really top crop. That is your best timings, that if you do it that way. The ones that I've done that are earlier, they are mainly, I'm going to mainly eat the leaves of those and maybe a few little Kalettes because we enjoy them so much. But if you want proper, sweet, big Kalette sprouts, then March is your sowing time for them. Okay, so that's the Kalettes. The next thing is my summer crop of kales. I'm not going to do many. I am just going to do 3 or 4 of each. And what I have chosen is, the first one I've chosen is Dazzling Blue Kale. So this is a Cavallonero type of kale. So it has the, you know, crinkly leaves. And the best thing about this is that it is, the ribs of the leaves are kind of like a pinky color. They call it the midrib, and it's a pinky color. It is absolutely fantastic. It's a great performer, this kale, really fantastic. And it tastes great as well. So I'm doing a few of those. I'm going to do 3 of those. My favorite Cavallonero is called Black Magic, and I will be doing 3 of those as well. And the next one that I will be sowing is one called, now this isn't really readily available, but it is a wonderful kale. It's called Cadet. It's a curly kale. So it's a kind of medium to late variety, and it grows to be about 60 to 80 centimeters tall. It has these lovely green leaves, and they're very kind of curly, but it's much narrower than other kind of curly kales, which tend to be quite big. So it's a great, great, great performer, and it's frost resistant. Not that we're going to need it in the summer, but it's fantastic. The other one that I'm going to sow is some Scarlet Kale as well. So they're my kales that I'm going to be doing in the summer. The next thing is our summer, well, summer autumn, let's say, because it's so slow growing, red cabbage. And I am going to be sowing 2. I'm going to be doing the red Lodero again, the F1. This is our favorite cabbage for autumn. I also sow them to have them a little bit earlier, but this is the best, I think, for autumn. That and red Drumhead, which is the other cabbage that I'm going to sow. It's another great thing about the red Lodero is it is clubroot resistant. So if you've got a problem with clubroot on your plot or in your garden, then this is the one to get. It has these great big round heads, purpley reddy leaves, and it's fabulous, really fabulous. And of course, red Drumhead. And we all know red Drumhead here in the UK, another great one. The next thing, another leaf that I'm sowing this month is my first lot of Brussels sprouts. Now, I'm doing it mainly because I start harvesting the leaves in August. If you haven't eaten small Brussels sprout leaves, you haven't eaten anything, because they are better than any cabbage. Fantastic. The sprouts and the sprout tops will come in late autumn and winter, and they will go through to early spring. I plan to plant these out in kind of May time. So there are 2 varieties that I've chosen, and one is called Brest, B-R-E-S-T. It's an F1. Now, this is my favorite Brussels sprout. The quality and the density on the stem is excellent of how many sprouts you get, and they really hold well on the stem well into March. You get no loss of any kind of quality from the stem as well. It's tall, it's what they call a midwinter variety, and you get really plenty of small, really tight Brussels sprouts. Fantastic. It is resistant to leaf spot, which is a bonus, and also powdery mildew. The other one that I'm going to do is one called Crispus, C-R-I-S-P-U-S. which is another great variety. I haven't really grown it much. I have over the years, but I'm going to try this year because everyone's been raving about it on the allotment. So I put it in as one of my on my list to try. It is resistant to club root, so that's a bonus as well. So yeah, I'm giving this a go. So that is that. And then the last leaves that I'm going to be sowing in March are coriander, dill, parsley. They're the 3 other things that I will be doing and sowing in March. So I'm going to stop here because I'm just looking at the time, and this is a perfect time to stop because I can actually label this video as what leaves I will be sowing in March. So that's a great idea. All right, so I'm Susie B from SusyBLiving, and I will see you for the rest of what I'm sowing in March as well. Fruits, roots, flowers. See you next time. Bye.